Hello, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. This rig that I'm sharing today, a 1987 Sea Breeze, reminds me of the Forrest Gump movie when they said, "It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." When I stepped inside, I was absolutely stunned. It has been lovingly refurbished, and I think you are really going to enjoy this tour. A combination of vintage and modern, but it comes together beautifully. Hello, Coy and Sylvia.
Hello.
Hello.
There is some background noise here because we're at the RTR, and I didn't bring my microphone because I wasn't planning on doing any interviews today. And when I look, I'm sorry, but when you look at the outside of this, you have no idea what's on the inside. It's one of the most beautiful builds I've ever seen. Now, what year is this?
It's an 80, the truck is an 86, the camper was built in 87.
And what is the name of it, and what kind is it?
It's a Sea Breeze built by National RV in Corona, California.
And how long have you had it for?
Well over 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you completely, looks like you completely gutted it and redid it?
Yeah, it's my grandmother bought this used in 92. It was too small for her. She recently passed away at the age of 100.
Oh my goodness.
And,
so you're going to get a lot of use out of this.
Yes, and then she gave it to my sister, who got tired of it after a couple years, and then I had borrowed it a couple times to go locally camping, and my sister said, "I'm going to sell it unless you want it." And I took it over, and only one that's ever put love into it. And we kept it all original for many, many years. And about when COVID happened, we decided, you know what, let's gut this and make it into our own.
I bet your sister wants this back now that she's seen the inside.
Well, and my other sister borrows it a lot to do pumpkin patches and Christmas tree lots in the wintertime. So.
Well, there's a lot of noise out here, so let's go inside and look at this jewel. I mean, truly a jewel. This is such a beautiful build. I am going to do a complete tour, but I'm going to ask you if you will do most of the narration. Let's start in the front and just work our way back, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Now, this is a second bed, or is this the only bed?
This is a full-size bed. It's original. It used to have a removable top, but we kept the pass-through, but we sealed off the top.
So it had a top that you were telling me, flip up before?
Yes, it had this piece. This piece is original.
Okay.
Just been reupholstered, but this would flip up and store over there, and you could walk right through.
Okay.
But now we just hang a curtain for privacy.
But you can still get through if you needed to.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now, is this where you primarily sleep?
Yeah, me and my wife sleep up here.
Okay, now I'm looking over here. Does this turn into a bed also, but it's wide enough just to sleep on like that?
It does. Originally, I'm going to put this little folding table down.
Okay.
For the moment. Originally, it was a jackknife sofa.
Oh.
Came to about here, so you had that much couch.
Uh-huh.
So what I did was I removed all that mechanism and I built a slat table.
Okay.
It comes out, and that comes over here, becomes a bed, or I can pull it out partially. It's a little, and turn it into a day bed by just putting that thing behind.
So you could actually sleep floor in here.
Yeah, and up in the,
okay.
yeah, but this was a great upgrade because we got a much bigger couch for the same exact footprint as the original.
Okay, okay.
So that was one of the earlier things we did that we really loved.
Now I'm looking at these lights. Now are these USB, or what kind of lights are those?
These are just cheapy Amazon lights.
Are they on batteries, or?
They were on batteries, but I wired them to where they're on a switch.
Oh, okay.
So I put a little voltage reducer in them from 12 volt to 5 volt, so it would power them. Alligator clips on the battery compartment, and I built these little holders out of scrap wood I had laying around the house.
Oh, I love those little holders.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So, and then you've got a holder there for your phone. You've just got everything. Now, I wanted to ask, so this table, is this where you mostly eat, or?
No, what we like to do is sit here and sit there and watch television.
Oh, okay.
And so we have this little fold-up table to put our drinks on. I used to have a little, sometimes I'm a traveling musician, And I have an amplifier that goes right here. We use that as a table.
Now, I'm looking at the ceiling wood. This is beautiful. I presume this is part of the remodel?
Yes, it was just composite material, and I reframed it, the ceiling, gutted it and reframed it because it had some leaking issues.
What kind of wood is that?
It's just cedar plank, 1/4 inch, very lightweight, lighter than the original eighth inch composite material that was there.
Okay, but more durable actually too, probably.
And better insulated. We sealed off the front window with cedar also because it was very drafty in that front window.
Now, speaking of insulation, did you insulate this when you rebuilt it?
Yeah, it was already had foam in it, but we just bought better quality foam.
Okay. And then I see you have several overhead cabinets on either side. You have a few cabinets.
These we built with the same material, you know, just, and then this little white wood, I followed the same footprint as the original.
Now, what is this here that you framed it with? Oh, it's some kind of foam.
These are child safety foam for corners for like tables, and you got a young child, they don't want to bump their head.
So you put that so you don't bang your head when you...
Exactly.
Okay.
And it works really well, and it actually looks pretty nice. And these are the original doors that were here before. I just put them back on the new cabinets I built.
I'm looking over here, and I see that you have a counter. Now, what is this made out of?
Okay, so I have a 1912 Sears dining table that's been a family heirloom forever.
Okay.
And one day I looked at the leaves that go in the center to extend the table out for gatherings, and I thought, oh my God, those would look nice as a bar. And so I just put them together and didn't over-finish it, kept it kind of rustic, and built a counter. So originally this was an L-shaped couch.
Okay.
And it was awkward. I needed a place to house my batteries because I've got a lot of batteries.
Okay. Wow. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But this is kind of your bar, and you even have bar stools here.
Yes, that was a trial and error project. I failed a couple times, but these are actually the original plates that were in the two table stands. One went here.
Oh.
One went there. They were rusty as heck. I took them out, I sanded the crap out of them, I got them shiny again, and I repurposed them as bar stools here.
So you've repurposed a lot of things in here.
A lot of the original stuff is still in here. Yeah, you wouldn't know it though, that a lot of these walls, this is the wallpaper that's just been painted over.
Oh my goodness. Now let's go over here and look over at now what is this? This is just butcher block?
Those are 1x2 pieces of lumber I got from Home Depot, maple, mahogany, and walnut, and I glued them together, and I made butcher block out of it.
Those are beautiful. It turned out, I just want to go and show this again to my viewers.
Took me a couple tries, and they're not that good.
1x2 from Home Depot, and and then you put a polyurethane, I guess, over it.
Yes, I polyed it and sanded it. It took me a couple tries to get it to look decent.
And your little fireplace.
And that's a $20 Amazon item that I just wired in permanently. And
what about this TV? Is this 12 volts?
That's a 12-volt TV, but I wired it through the wall, so it's got no wires exposed.
Okay. I see you have a kitchen over here, and you even have a vent. I guess that was an original vent?
This is the original vent hood.
Okay.
It's on a original light, original fan. And this is the original stove.
Wow. This is over 30 years old.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people remove these because they didn't know what they were for. But it actually, when you lift the hood lid up, you can put these little hooks right here, and you've got another layer. And we often will use a kettle here. We have an air fryer. We plug it into the inverter up there.
Wow.
So we actually do a lot of cooking in an air fryer, and but this stove is original. It had such charm to it, this Wedgwood stove, that I didn't want to remove.
Right. And then you did the same, I guess you did the same thing with the 1x2s over here?
Well, I cut out the sinkhole because this is the original cabinet.
Okay.
You can tell the doors that have been replaced. These are original doors. These ones that aren't as pretty are the ones I made.
Okay.
And one down there, that used to house a furnace, but I replaced it. Now it's more storage.
Okay.
When I made this top and I cut out the hole for the sink, I used the scrap from the hole to make 2 of these. I have one for the smaller sink too. And this is just a sink
beautiful. Cover. Just stunning.
And it's just, like I said, mahogany, walnut, and maple.
From Home Depot.
I glued it together and
Now, what kind of glue did you use for anyone who wants to try and emulate this?
Just the standard wood glue.
Okay.
Just the standard, I think it's urethane glue, but it's a standard white glue.
You didn't stain these separately?
No.
You just put them together like that?
I use like a light oak stain because the wood had color already.
Okay.
So I use a light oak stain for it and then polyurethaned it. And it's got a lot of imperfections, but as my wife says, the imperfections give it character.
Yeah. And then I see over here is your refrigerator. That's a pretty good size refrigerator.
Yeah, we got rid of the propane fridge because we thought it was going to be too much money to get it repaired.
Okay.
And we put a little electric dorm fridge in it. And then about 2 weeks later, I'm online and I see this thing in Best Buy. And I show my wife, I said, oh my God, look at this cute fridge. And she falls in love, and we went to Best Buy, bought it. We ripped the other fridge out. We did it all over again because we just loved the look of this.
The character fits with your rig.
Yes.
It really does.
That, of course, inspired the kettle and the air fryer.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So a lot of the things you get inspiration from odd places. You know, we picked out the flooring first.
I was looking at your flooring. It's beautiful. Now, where did you get this flooring and what is it?
That's just vinyl plank flooring we got at home. We ordered it online from Home Depot.
Now, did it come in packets that were all different colors like this?
Yes, it came just like this.
Okay.
And that was the first thing we did, was install the floor. And then every other color and every other thing we did to this was inspired from this flooring.
And it's just beautiful. It really is.
Thank you.
And then you've got seat belts. As I'm looking over here, I see you have seat belts on here?
Yes.
Now, how did you do that?
That is the original chair from this vehicle.
And then
we just reupholstered it is all.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. What haven't you thought of? Well, you know what? Let's look in the bathroom.
The bathroom is mostly original.
The toilet has been replaced. Now the counter, did you say the counter is original or new?
The cabinet below it is original. The countertop, I used the scrap wood from the bar to build that.
Okay. And I love that copper bowl.
Yes, I was inspired by somebody I saw on YouTube who had put a tin sink in it above the counter.
Uh-huh.
And I found that it's an antique copper bowl.
And then you've got the...
And I drilled a hole in the bottom and made it work.
Okay, and then you've got the copper faucet. That's just lovely. And then you have a regular shower over here.
Yeah, and I'm storing wood at it at the moment, but that's going to be burned probably tonight. I don't know if you looked at that cabinet up there.
Oh, let's see this. Okay.
That's interesting. That cabinet originally had doors on it for storage. Okay. I removed the doors. I took a little bit of each family member that's passed on. The boat from my grandma's house, my uncle, there's a little treasure chest, and a few little odds and ends. And the other stuff I just outfitted with stuff I found at Hobby Lobby.
So this is basically your family remembrance?
Yeah, and also just kind of a place to have, because a lot of campers don't have a place to, decorate, put things on shelves. So I wanted something that felt more like a house. And some of that stuff's just Hobby Lobby stuff to give me the nautical theme. So what would you say to people who are afraid to get an older rig like this? Well, if the vehicle is sound, in this case it's a Toyota. People still drive them. And it's been kept in your family, so you know who had it. Yeah, I've never had to do anything to it except stuff I wanted to do. Really? No emergency repairs. I mean, I had to fix the exhaust a couple times. Little stuff, brakes. But almost everything's original on it, except the headers I upgraded and the gearing in the back to make me climb a little better. Now, how often do you and your lovely wife go out in this? Not often enough. Not often enough. Not often. I do a lot of gigs on the weekends, and sometimes I don't get a hotel room, so I'll take this, and this will be my hotel. So what's the name of your band? Well, I have a couple to play with. No Illusion is one. I've been playing with the singer since the 80s. And where do they perform, just so anyone... Lately at Fantasy Springs Casino. Okay, so Fantasy Springs, they'll see you, and what do you do in the band? I'm a bass player. A bass player, okay, well... and then my other group is an old-timey blues band, and we do stuff from the early days of blues. And what is the name of that band? Bone Thumpers. And where do they play? Palm Springs a lot, Palm Desert, smaller places. Can anyone go online and find you guys? Oh, they'll find us online. Okay. It's got decades of stuff. So tell us about your power system. Okay, so I started with the original battery, and then at some point I put a little 20-watt solar system on. Now, what was the original battery? It just came with a little house battery.
Like an AGM type of thing?
Yeah, like a deep cycle battery.
Okay, okay.
And that worked for lights and stuff. But as I got more into it, I'm kind of nerd out on stuff.
I see you have, what's that, what's that?
They're valence batteries, or
Okay.
they're used batteries out of medical devices, like the rolling carts in the hospitals.
So where did you find those?
Everywhere. Here and there on eBay, online, people selling them.
Right, so you have, let me get it straight, 540 amp hours of battery and 1,000 watts. And how is it divided up?
Well, each of these bigger batteries are 138 amp hours.
Okay.
I got those when I could find them. The other smaller ones, I've got 3 of each, are, I think they're 40 amp hours. So 3 of the smaller ones equals almost about the size of one of the bigger ones.
So how many batteries altogether do you have in there?
There's 6 of them in there, but I have them all wired together as one big battery.
You bought them used.
Yeah.
Is there any guarantee with them? Any warranty or?
No, but they're very lightly used and they're extremely well made. They sell new for like outrageous money. I think they're close to $2,000 each when they're new.
And you got them for how much?
The first one I bought for $300.
And that was what size?
The larger one.
Okay. 100 amp?
Yeah, the 138 amp hours.
And you got it for $300?
Yeah.
That's a steal.
Well, that was the first one, and the second one I think I paid about $350.
Okay.
And then Will Prowse did a video on how great they are, and the last one I paid over $700 for.
Okay, Will Prowse, would you give us a heads up before you're going to announce something so we can buy it real quick?
Yeah, right.
And this, I can't imagine that there's anything you can't power with that.
No, we run air fryers, and I have everything. You know, I have 2 charge controllers in there because as I expanded, I didn't want to throw away one. So
And how big is your inverter?
My inverter is 2,500 to 5,000 peak, and that's
Okay.
pure sine wave,
Okay.
which is enough to run any one of my appliances as long as I'm only running one.
So did you know how to do all this before you started this remodel?
No, I have basic understanding of electricity and electronics because I've always been in music and so forth. But no, not building a large 12-volt system. It was all trial and error, YouTube videos.
And you mentioned Will Prowse, so I'm guessing that you looked at him a lot.
I watched a lot of his videos, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, another thing I forgot yesterday was the air conditioner, and I really wanted you to explain about the air conditioner because you've got a little window unit down there that's 5,000 BTUs, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
And how exactly do you have that wired? Because you said you have it wired to your inverter.
Yeah, the inverter is on the other side, so I have a cable that runs underneath the vehicle. I rigged up an outlet over here under the couch, and the AC unit plugs directly into that.
And these have to be, though they have to be ventilated, so how are you
Correct.
doing that?
So I boxed it in except for the very rear fins, and I have, on the sides of it, I cut big holes in the floor. So the air comes in through underneath the vehicle where it's cool, and it exits out the back where the generator used to be into that compartment.
So you took out the generator, and there's
yes,
a empty area.
which has become our garage,
Okay.
essentially.
Can you open this and show it to my viewers?
Yeah, this is, you can see how I boxed it in here.
Okay. And it comes right to that first piece of wood
Right to
there.
the water tank, yes.
Okay.
So
And-
there's inches all the way around it to let it breathe.
Okay, and you've got
Of dead
space
air.
around it. And then it just vents out the back. And you were saying it's kind of the same concept, like a mini split almost.
Yeah, kind of like a mini split, except that it's a poor man's mini split because I used a
Okay.
window unit.
And this only costs, what, a couple $100 or something?
Couple $100. Yeah, it was and a blank extension cord from Home Depot to run from the inverter underneath the vehicle.
And you said you got the thickest one you could find.
Yes, because it pulls about 40 amps, I think, is what it pulls.
That's
but
not that much.
I can run it all day long, maybe for a day or two before it depletes the batteries.
Well, thank you for letting me come back a second day. And